This is Rummy's Corner. Back in May, Oleksandr Usyk made boxing history when he was awarded a 12-round split decision victory against Tyson Fury. With that win, Usyk became the first undisputed world heavyweight champion in the modern four-belt era. Usyk and Fury are scheduled to have a rematch on December 21st, but it will not be for the undisputed crown. A little over a month after making history, Usyk vacated the IBF belt after being strong-armed and pestered by the organization, and former Usyk victim Daniel Dubois was promoted as the new IBF champion. Before Usyk beat Fury, the last time two men competed for the undisputed heavyweight crown was in November 1999, when the great Lennox Lewis won a 12-round unanimous decision in his rematch against Evander Holyfield. With that victory, Lennox had unified all three major titles of his day to go along with his rightful claim to the lineage. But Lennox never got the chance to defend the undisputed crown, because he was stripped by the WBA for facing Michael Grant instead of their mandatory challenger, John the Quiet Man Ruiz. At that time, Grant was widely viewed as the top contender in the division, whereas Ruiz was best known for getting blasted out in 19 seconds by David Tua. Prior to Lennox winning the Holyfield rematch, and prior to their first fight, the last time two men competed for the undisputed heavyweight crown was all the way back in November 1992, when Holyfield and Riddick Bowe had their first of three fights, an absolutely epic battle that was an instant classic. Bowe won a 12-round unanimous decision to win the undisputed crown, where he won all three major titles of his day and earned a rightful claim to the lineage. But like Usyk and Lennox after him, Bowe never defended the undisputed crown either. Instead, Bowe vacated the WBC belt, literally throwing it in the trash, and Lewis was immediately promoted as the new WBC champion. In the last 32 years, we have only had three undisputed world heavyweight champions, and between them, not a single defense of the undisputed heavyweight crown. Indeed, the last man to successfully defend the undisputed heavyweight crown was Evander "Real Deal" Holyfield. Holyfield first won the undisputed world heavyweight championship in October 1990, when he knocked out James "Buster" Douglas in round 3. With that victory, Holyfield won all three major belts of his day, the WBA, WBC, and IBF, and he also earned a rightful claim as lineal world heavyweight champion. In April 1991, Holyfield put the undisputed crown on the line against former world heavyweight champion Big George Foreman. This was an interesting situation, because Foreman lost the crown nearly 17 years earlier, all the way back in October 1974. The fight was billed as the Battle for the Ages, where the undefeated 28-year-old Holyfield was pitted against the 42-year-old Foreman. To the surprise of many, Foreman put forth a very spirited effort and even managed to have his fair share of moments. But despite some difficulty with some challenging spots along the way, by and large Holyfield was in control of the action, and he was outboxing the older former champion. Foreman lost a point in the 11th for a low blow, and to his credit, Foreman lasted the full 12-round duration. Holyfield was awarded a 12-round unanimous decision with scores of 115 to 112, 117 to 110, and 116 to 111. And with that victory, Holyfield made a successful defense of the undisputed heavyweight crown. Holyfield's next defense was scheduled for November 8, 1991, and it was expected to be a long-awaited showdown against former undisputed king, Iron Mike Tyson. But the fight got pushed back after Tyson suffered an injury in training, and before a new date could be finalized, Tyson was sent to prison. Meanwhile, Holyfield was supposed to face Francesco Damiani as a replacement opponent for November 23rd, but Damiani suffered a foot injury days before their fight. Ultimately, Burt Cooper got the call as a late replacement for Damiani, who himself was a late replacement for Iron Mike. But Cooper wasn't ranked by the WBC, so they refused to sanction the bout. The fight wound up being a wild and entertaining encounter where both guys were dropped. Holyfield ultimately prevailed with a 7th round stoppage. Technically, Holyfield did not defend the undisputed crown here, but at the end of the day, he was still the undisputed world heavyweight champion after the win. In June 1992, Holyfield made another defense of his undisputed crown, this time against former long-reigning champion Larry Holmes, the Easton Assassin. This was another situation where we had Holyfield, the 29-year-old undefeated champion, going up against a 42-year-old former champion. And once again, like Foreman before him, to the surprise of many, the Easton Assassin made a fight of it. Larry was very crafty and proved himself to be an awkward foe for the champion. Indeed, Holmes was cleverly tricky and resourceful when it came to disrupting Holyfield's rhythm. But despite some difficulty, Holyfield still managed to decisively outbox Holmes for the majority of the contest. Holyfield was awarded a 12-round unanimous decision, with 2 judges scoring it 116 to 112, and the other having it 117 to 111. That circles back to the first fight against Riddick Big Daddy Bowe in November 1992. And that was the last time that any reigning undisputed world heavyweight champion officially put his undisputed crown on the line. Of course, Holyfield lost that one, and Bowe became the new undisputed champion. But Bowe never defended the undisputed crown because he vacated the WBC belt. It would take almost another 7 years before we had another undisputed world heavyweight champion. And like Bowe before him, Lennox did not make a single defense of the undisputed crown because he was stripped by the WBA for refusing to fight John Ruiz. Then it took almost a quarter of a century before a new undisputed king was crowned. Nearly 25 damn years, with Usyk ushering in a whole new era, the modern 4-belt era. Usyk vacated the IBF belt, and the irony here is that he had already knocked out Dubois, the man who received the IBF belt without winning it in the ring, and his first defense came against Anthony Joshua, a man Usyk had already beaten not once, but twice. At the end of the day, we have only had 3 undisputed world heavyweight champions in the last 32 years. And since 1990, Evander Holyfield is the only undisputed world heavyweight champion to defend the undisputed crown. And he technically put it on the line 3 times, where he beat Foreman and Holmes, and he put all the belts and the lineage on the line against Bowe as well. And were it not for the strange situation where the WBC refused to sanction the Cooper bout, where Cooper was a late replacement for a late replacement, he would have put it on the line 4 times, 3 times successfully. In a day and age where simply having an undisputed world heavyweight champion is rare because of boxing politics, seeing one defend the undisputed crown is even rarer still. Evander Holyfield was the last man to defend the undisputed heavyweight crown. How long before we see another? What do you think? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful night. This is Rummy's Corner.